Everyone knows that conversion and conversion rates, securing sales, is ultimately a key avenue of being able to grow your health and medical business. So let's get in right now and find out what it is we need to do when our conversion rates are down for us to be able to continue to grow the business. So here's the scenario. Your business is going well. You've got a great team. Our revenues are going quite well. Hopefully you're on the growth avenue and you're starting to see your cash flow forecast moving forward nicely. Your projections are fantastic. Your accountant's happy. Your team's happy. Everything's going really well. And that's the scenario right now for one of our particular clients, a really good guy, Steve. He's up in Queensland, and I was chatting with him probably 2 hours ago now, and he was a little bit challenged. And if I paint the picture a little bit better, it'll help make understand the power and the presence of how to actually get the business to continue to grow when your conversions may be down. So with Steve, he's got his clinic and his team, and they're right next to as part of one big area, which includes a medical centre that's right there. And he was saying to me this morning that it's quite challenging because over the last about 3 weeks, they've had a changeover in one of their full-time reception team members. Plus, the practice manager has just up and left. So let's not get into the reasons why that's happening with the medical centre, but one of the first things is, just on a little side step here, is let's make sure that we focus on the controllables, because we can only control the controllables. So those things are out of our control, and we can't really go and get stuck into the CEO and all that type of stuff, because they're the uncontrollables that are probably going to land you in a bit of difficulty relationship-wise. So back onto the controlling the controllables. One of the challenges that he's noticed very significantly in the last few weeks is the fact that the conversion rates from phone calls is actually significantly lower than what it has been. And further to that, a lot of the actual statistics and data around this isn't actually getting tracked because, people are too busy, apparently. That old chestnut around, I don't have time. So all of a sudden, we notice that the conversions are down. We notice that we're not getting accurate data and statistics around that either. We're finding out when we scratch that itch that few of those that aren't getting written down are not being written down and recorded because, the receptionists don't want Steve and his team to know that they're not doing as great a job with conversions and following our scripts and our processes as much as what they should. And so without getting too far down that rabbit warren, it has a major bearing on the way in which Steve and his team can actually grow. So they're doing a great job, and so many things are happening for the right reasons in the right way. But obviously one of the lowest hanging fruit that we need to work on right now is being able to increase those conversion rates. Because if we're getting the right marketing and the right authority, and we've got the right relationships and the right referral strategies in place, then the phone calls are coming in. People are trying to book in. Now, a lot of the time in our industry, people do want to be asking questions about the service or who we are or how much and all these type of things, and that's completely fine. We've got the system in place for that. We've got the sales script audit. It's a 9-box process. It's really simple and easy. It's not a read this word for word and you will convert more sales. It's not that at all, for those that don't know about it. If you do and you want more information, hit me up. I'm more than happy to help you out and provide you with a copy so you too can get the benefit from it. But what we actually notice is they're not actually following the system and the scripts in place. They're not following the avenue of how to do that because they're getting a little bit flustered. So as a net result, well, let's just do this. Excuse me for the break in transmission. We all have tech issues now and again, and that was one of those. So let's get stuck straight back in. Look, the big thing with where we're at with Steve is that And you might be in the same situation. Maybe you have external reception teams. Maybe you've got multiple clinics and it's not quite gelling. Maybe you're with a medical center or other specialists and you need to be able to have better control over the admin side of things. And it might not be as easy as what you are experiencing right now. And that's exactly what Steve's got. So here's the thing. If we can't control some of those parameters around our conversion and what some people are saying, as much as we want to, much as, you want to be able to put in like scripts and the models and that, like our sales script audit, etc. You can put all of that in place, but there are a lot of times where that's not going to be able to happen. You can't just walk in and demand that someone else does the following. So what do you do in that situation? Well, that can be sort of put into that basket where it's a bit of that uncontrollable. It's not best for us to see that as a controllable in all circumstances. So maybe we need to park that. But the question that we need to ask is, well, then what is the controllable aspect for us to be able to take better control, have more accountability, and ultimately be able to make more conversions, get more clients on board, and continue the growth spectrum of the actual progress and the graphical side of getting more growth and avenues of our business moving forward. So in that situation, the advice I gave Steve, and I really think that it's the low-hanging fruit, it's the simple part of what we need to do. The solution lies in what we say and do with those clients in our own consultation. So when we actually see a client for the first time, we should actually, in those first few moments when we're trying to get a lot more of the relationship and rapport, we need to be understanding and mindful that they may well have had a challenging, difficult, or alternate experience with their booking process, with the sales process as such. And if so, let's not pretend that hasn't occurred. Let's actually, one, find out if that's the case, and two, let's actually be able to make amends and work on that from the start. See, if we make sure that they're having a great experience from the start and we find out that it was a little bit difficult to book in, or the lady who took the phone call to book me and actually was, it was a little bit awkward, or she was a little bit rude, or those type of are natural responses. That is part of what you get as direct feedback. What that does is it positions you straight away when you're walking in to see someone for the first time. That it enables you to position yourself to make sure that you can obviously, one, apologize and make a positive out of a negative situation, but you can also make sure that they understand that the experience of what they've had so far is not directly in line with you and your team. It is an external provider, or it's the medical center that actually runs it. So, we've had a few challenges of late and we're working on it as best we can, etc. And so what that does is it takes ownership of the situation. It makes sure that you're not trying to be defensive. And it means if there has been a little bit of a negative start to that relationship, that you can actually proactively acknowledge it and make them understand the situation moving forward. And that becomes really powerful. So I would suggest, first of all, you really take ownership of the early part of that conversation. And the other part is at the end of every consult that we have, we should be really focusing in on making sure that we do that full summary like we have in one of our models with the pipeline. And we want to make sure that we have that patient pipeline in place so they really understand the journey from here. Because one of the other challenges that Steve's having is that as a net result, a few of his cancellations are up at the moment as well. And so, again, scripts aren't getting followed by the external medical center reception admin team that controls the flow through all the practice for all medical, all health and specialists, etc. And so as a net result, how else can we work on that and to keep our conversion levels up for new clients and returning clients and retention? Well, quite simply, we need to make sure that the end of the consult is really well wrapped up. So the client is very clear about what they're doing, what the next steps are, what you're going to be doing, the accountability measures in place, giving them the 2 or 3 main areas of focus. We don't want them to have to think about what's next. We don't want them to be unclear about the days and weeks ahead or what their treatment journey looks like. We need to be very clear that I've done this. This is what I need you to do. We want to make sure that we use the right words to know that, and when you do the following and I see you again on Tuesday at 3:30, so they have that positive affirmation, their brain hears when they're coming back, that those things there, we know every single time decrease cancellations, increase accountability, increase increase retention. And as a net result, you continue that growth pathway. And what it does do is it means that you are controlling the controllables. You are in better control than the uncontrollable nature that some people find themselves in when their conversions are down. So if you're in that situation, the first thing is let's take control early on. Let's flag it for what it is and make sure that if they haven't had a perfectly amazing client experience in the first part of dealing with our business, even if it is a external business, off to the side, controlling the admin, reception, etc., let's make sure that we make amends and we get the feeling that they have towards our business and the experience with myself and the team is actually based on what we want and not what someone else is prescribing. Secondly, we want to make sure that we really work on the finalization of every single consultation. So they're very clear about their direction. They're very clear about the importance of what we're doing, the accountability measure that's in place, the avenue of how we're going to do this as a journey and a pathway together. And as a net result, people will always have a greater affinity to sticking to the plan, having better retention and working with you, and will actually subconsciously not go ahead and cancel because they're working with you, in partnership with you, etc. And so that's how we keep our retention up. That's how we make sure that when we can't always control our conversions or the conversion rates are down, like in the situation with Steve, we actually can control it. And there's two simple ways that we can plug in straight away that are going to absolutely kick butt and move forward, keep the growth of the business and the clientele and the team moving forward when we've got some challenging external factors that are keeping the conversion rate down at the moment. So I know that's going to help you guys, for those that are in that situation, to go forth, put those in place and get the success and growth that you guys are needing in your business right now. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.